Here's a financial problem that asks you to find the growth rate, which is kind of a unusual problem where you're not looking for the money at time down the road or the initial amount here, but you're actually looking for B, the growth rate. If you don't know where to start on these problems, at least write out the base equation that kind of governs this whole chapter. The amount of something after a certain time of X years or months or whatever is based on the initial value A times the growth factor B to some power X, which is usually time. In this case, it's saying, wow, find the growth rate, that's B, so this is the thing I'm going to be looking for. A is my initial amount, that's 150, because that's what I started with in 1972. Says it's worth 540. I'm just going to round this to 541 to get approximate values here in 1994. And then my growth factor here is what I don't know, but I do know that from 72 to 94, that's, I think, 22 years, right? So if this is an interest rate like 1 plus R compounded annually, okay, annual growth rate is what it's looking for. So it's going to be 1 plus R to the 32 equals this divided by that. Okay, so now I'm just going to solve for R. When I have a value like this I'm trying to get by itself, I'm just going to take 541, divide by 150. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 150. And that number decimal comes out to be, I think, 3.61. Now that must be equal to whatever's left over here, which is 1 plus R to the 22nd power. Okay, and now here's where your skills from last chapter hopefully come in handy, is that if I had some number like 9 equals x squared, you would know how to undo x squared. You would take the square root of both sides, because the square root of something squared is equal to x. I'm going to get this all by itself. Okay, so I don't need to go through that in detail, but even though this is a very high exponent, we're not used to taking the 22nd root of something. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the 22nd root of this, and so this will come out all by itself. But if I do that to the left, I'm sorry, if I do that to the right side of the equation, if I take the 22nd root of something here, I'm going to get this out, and I must also take the 22nd root of 3.61. Now nobody's got a button on their calculator. That's ugly writing. Nobody's got a button on their calculator that is made for taking the 22nd root of something. But in cases like this, that's why you just go 3.61. This is why we learned this last chapter, to the 1 over 22nd power. Now, is that weird? Maybe, but I can just punch in 3.61 into my calculator, make sure it's in parentheses, put to the caret 1 divided by the 22nd power, and you will get an answer there. In fact, this turns out to be, I think, let's see, and I haven't done it yet, so I apologize. Let me do it real quick. 3.61, enter. I think it comes out to be 1.0601 equals R. Plus 1. So if I subtract 1 from each side, I get 0.0601 equals R. So the interest rate here had to be 6.01%. Usually express these as percentages, so there you go. Okay, so again, 3.61 to the 1 over 22nd power. If you don't know how to do that on your calculator, I believe I'm getting 1.0601. Subtract 1 from here, subtract 1 from here, and you get 0.0601 as R. Move the decimal twice, and there's your percentage. Hope that helps.